When I was 14, my parents told me to grow up. Then they left me at a truck stop in the desert. No warning, no goodbye. Just silence and sand. I stood there with a backpack and $23. The car's taillights vanished into the heat. That was the last time I saw them. I'm Elena Mitchell, 31 now. I live in Portland, Oregon, and work with foster kids. Kids who remind me too much of who I used to be. For 17 years, I never heard my parents' voices again. Until last week. A cream-colored envelope sat on my kitchen counter. My sister's wedding invitation. Same handwriting. Same address I used to call home. I held it for 3 days. Afraid to open it. Afraid to remember. The past doesn't knock. It arrives. They called me a burden. 17 years later, they called me family. Before we start, tell me where you're watching from. Your city or country. I love knowing where everyone's tuning in from. From the outside, we looked perfect. A lawyer mom, an architect dad, a golden sister. Madison won trophies for breathing, I think. I just tried to stay out of trouble. At home, success was currency. Grades were love letters. And I couldn't afford either. I wasn't lazy. I had ADHD, undiagnosed, untreated, unseen. My brain ran, but never in straight lines. Mom said I needed focus. Dad said I needed discipline. Neither said I was enough. Every dinner felt like a courtroom. They'd ask for my report card, then read my failures out loud. Your sister manages her time, Dad would say. You could learn from her. Mom sighed like my existence cost her oxygen. When I brought home a D in math, Mom didn't raise her voice. That was worse. She said, "Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is?" Her tone made me feel smaller than the silverware. I spent nights studying until my vision blurred. Still failed. Still wrong. Still not Madison. The night before our trip to Pasadena, the air at dinner felt heavy. Rehearsed. Madison talked about her Stanford program. Mom beamed. Dad asked questions that weren't for me. I chewed in silence, pretending the food had flavor. Later, I heard them whisper in the kitchen. "She's holding us back," Dad said. "We can't keep wasting energy," Mom replied. Their voices carried like knives through the hallway. Still, I believed morning would fix everything. They were my parents. They wouldn't really leave me. Some families break your heart. Mine erased me to keep theirs perfect. The drive to Pasadena felt endless. Madison sat in the front, chatting about college. I stared out the window, counting telephone poles, trying to disappear between them. Past Barstow, the world turned gold and empty. Heat shimmered on the road like glass. Dad said he needed a break. Coffee, gas, stretch his legs. He pulled into a massive truck stop off the highway. We got out. Mom headed to the restroom. Madison stayed by the car, texting. Then Dad called my name. "Elena, come here." His voice was flat. He was standing by the open trunk. My backpack sat on the edge. "You're 14 now," he said. "Old enough to understand consequences." Mom appeared beside him. Perfect hair, perfect silence. "We've tried everything," she said. "Tutors, plans, patience, nothing works. You don't want to help yourself." My chest tightened. "What are you saying?" Dad didn't answer. He handed me the backpack. "There's some money in the front pocket. Use it wisely." He placed it on the ground between us, then turned and walked away. Mom followed. She didn't even look back. For a second, I thought it was a joke. Any moment now they'd stop, turn around, say, "Lesson learned." But the engine started. The car rolled away. The sound faded first, then the dust, then everything. I stood there until the sun dipped red behind the pumps. Nobody asked why a kid was alone. Nobody wanted to. That night, I slept in a drainage ditch behind the lot. The concrete was cold. The air smelled like diesel and rain that never came. I watched stars shake above me and whispered, "Don't forget me." Morning light woke me. My throat burned from crying. I went inside to wash my face. That's when I met her, Patricia. Gray ponytail, kind eyes, coffee cup in hand. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked. I nodded. Lied. She sat beside me anyway. "Let's talk inside," she said softly. She bought me water. She listened to every broken sentence. Then she called the police. A patrol car arrived, lights quiet. An officer asked my name and age. He called my parents' house. No one answered. He tried again. Still nothing. "Do you want to go home?" he asked. I stared at the floor tiles. "I don't feel safe there," I said. He wrote it down and met my eyes. Patricia squeezed my shoulder. "I'm a licensed foster parent," she told him. "I can keep her safe tonight." CPS was notified. Forms appeared. They promised a bed and a plan. I watched the door, expecting headlights. No one came. Only sunrise did. They left me at a truck stop. She found me at sunrise. If this were your family, what would you do? Comment 1 to keep peace quietly. Comment 2 to ask for proof, even in public. 17 years is enough to build a life. Patricia taught me how. We found a small apartment in Ashland first. Then Portland called with bigger work. I finished school, then grad school. I joined Child Protective Services in Multnomah County. My desk held files and tiny drawings. Kids who loved dinosaurs and applesauce. Kids who asked if monsters get mail. I learned procedures, then learned people. Courtrooms, safety plans, midnight removals, careful notes. I knocked on doors that echoed my past. I kept granola bars in my glove box. Some days I drove home in silence. Other days I cried before the elevator. Always I called Patricia on Sundays. She sent recipes and stubborn prayers. The letter arrived on a Wednesday. Cream envelope, elegant ink, familiar return address. It sat beside my keys for hours. I folded laundry. I watered the fern. I checked the stove twice. Finally, I opened it. Madison Mitchell requests the honor. My hands shook. A second page slid free, handwritten. Elena, I don't deserve your time, but I'm trying to be better. I think about that day constantly. If you can, please come. I sat on the kitchen floor. Tile cold under my knees, heart hot. Memories dropped like change from a pocket. Diesel, stars, a drainage ditch and a prayer. I called Patricia. She answered on the second ring. Hey kiddo, she said gently. I told her everything, voice small again. She listened without interrupting, like always. Then she asked one question. What do you need from this? Not should you forgive? Not what do they deserve? What do you need? I looked at the envelope again. I needed to see the woman Madison became. I needed to confirm my compass wasn't broken. I needed to speak without shaking. I needed my life to hear me. I think I have to go, I said. Then go for you, Patricia said. Not for them, for you. That night I booked a flight. Window seat, morning departure. Carry on only. I packed a blue dress and flats. I tucked a photo of Patricia inside. I wrote a speech I might never give. Truth without venom. Gratitude without apology. Boundaries without tremble. At PDX, I watched families reunite. Arms lifted. Suitcases bumped. Announcements blurred into white noise. My boarding group was called. I walked down the jet bridge steady. Fresno smelled like hot dust and citrus. A rideshare took me past old exits. Billboards I once counted from the back seat. The vineyard rose from the foothills, green and lit. I saw string lights and a white tent. I saw a woman at the gate, waiting. Same eyes as mine. Older, softer, braver maybe. Madison. My heart pounded like footsteps on hardwood. I stepped out and she stepped forward. No speeches yet. No witnesses. Just two sisters on gravel, breathing. 17 years of silence were about to speak. Rehearsal dinner glowed like a postcard. Laughter braided with violin notes. I kept to the edge, steady. Madison found me by the bar. Her hands trembled around the stem. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I was 16 and terrified. She didn't defend them. She didn't rewrite history. She named it abandonment, control, silence. I cut them off 3 years ago. They wanted a different groom and daughter. I chose my life instead. We stepped onto the patio. Vine leaves shivered against string lights. She told me about therapy and panic. How love felt quieter than control. Will you speak tomorrow? She asked. No pressure, only truth. I nodded once. Only truth, I said. Morning unfurled like a ribbon. I dressed slow, breathing between buttons. Slipped Patricia's photo into my pocket. Wrote 3 lines on a napkin. Truth. Gratitude. Boundaries. The ceremony was small and bright. Madison walked the aisle without parents. Brandon cried when he saw her. Applause felt like clean air. Dinner hummed under the white tent. Then the microphone came to me. I stood. My knees didn't shake. Most of you don't know me, I began. I'm Elena, Madison's sister. We lost each other for 17 years. Not by accident, by decision. When I was 14, my parents left me. At a truck stop in the desert. They called me a burden and drove away. I slept in a drainage ditch. No one rescued me that night. But someone found me at sunrise. Her name is Patricia. She is why I am alive. I told them about Oregon and files. About granola bars and glove compartments. About children who ask if monsters write letters. About learning to stand without shaking. I did not say monster or villain. I did not name my parents again. I named evidence, dates, choices, outcomes. Documentation over drama. Boundaries over begging. Today isn't about reopening a wound, I said. It's about honoring the healer. I lifted the photo toward the lights. Patricia covered her mouth and cried. The room rose to its feet. I turned to Madison. You found your voice, I said. You chose love over control. I'm proud to be your sister. We held hands, not to pose, to steady the ground between us. After, people came quietly. An old partner from Mom's firm. We were told you ran away, she said. I'm sorry I believed it. Brandon's mother hugged me hard. You're family now, she said. Call if you ever need anything. Kindness landed where shame once lived. The wall of lies began to crumble. Later outside, the air cooled. Citrus and dust braided with violin echoes. I watched lanterns drift against dark vines. They left a child in the desert. She returned with witnesses. The morning after, the vineyard felt quieter. Soft light on empty glasses. Footprints in the dew. My heart finally matched the weather. Madison texted at dawn. Breakfast? I said yes. We met by the gravel path. No speeches now. Just coffee and breath. I carried shame for years, she said. I carried silence, I said. We traded both for truth. We made room for future holidays. Room for small calls on hard days. Room for showing up, not rescuing. I called Patricia at noon. She answered with a laugh. I heard the clapping, she said. Through the phone? Through you, she said. I cried, finally without fear. On the flight home, I wrote one page. Not a letter to my parents, a promise to myself. I would love without begging. I would document, not dramatize. I would keep the door locked and the porch light warm. People asked if forgiveness arrived. It didn't knock. Peace did. Peace sits with boundaries. Forgiveness may come later. It can take the bus. Back in Portland, I walked the river path. Geese heckled like old neighbors. Clouds stacked over the bridges. I felt sturdy inside my ribs. Not fixed, just held. I taped my napkin lines above my desk. Truth, gratitude, boundaries. They look simple. They feel earned. If my parents ever call, I know what I'll say. I'll ask for dates, for records, for accountability, not apologies. Documentation over drama, boundaries over begging. I set the photo of Patricia by the window. Sun warmed the frame. Home isn't a house. Home is who waits in the morning, who answers on the second ring, who stays when the music stops. I'm not the girl in the ditch anymore. I'm the woman who climbed out. Family isn't who leaves you. It's who stays to find you. If this resonated, please like the video, share it with someone exhausted, and subscribe to stay for the next story.